This is a quick video for the benefit of those of you who, like me, have purchased a digital inclinometer, or Dipmeter as it's called in the instructions, and who are wanting to calibrate it and naively followed the manufacturer's instructions only to find out that it's impossible, it doesn't work. The instructions are for these sort of things imported from China for about 2p, are normally written in Chinglish and very difficult to understand, but in fact the instructions are very clear. It's just that they were 100% wrong. So I thought, well, if I wasn't going to be put off, and I just kept at it, and in the end I did work out how to do it, and I thought, well, okay, well, I'll make a video and post it on here so that other people can gain the benefit of my frustrations. So the instructions actually say, you've got 3 buttons, on, off, hold and 0. The instructions say to press and hold the hold button, and whilst you're pressing it, press and release the on off button, and it goes into calibration mode, and it says cal 1. You then press and release hold, cal 1 flashes, and then it lights up permanently. Turn it through 90 degrees, press and release hold, it flashes, goes to cal 2, cal 3, cal 4, and bingo, you're done. As I say, it doesn't work. You can do that 10 million times. Well, yours might work, this one didn't. So the way it works on this one is you press and hold the 0 button, and whilst you're holding it, you press and hold the on off. And it goes into its normal launch mode, but whilst you're holding the on off, whilst you're holding both buttons, in fact, it then reverts and displays 4 zeros. The moment it displays 4 zeros, you release both buttons. If you get anything else on there, like little arrows, percentage sign, or hold, or level, or anything like that, you've not done it right. You've just got to turn it off and do it again. So basically, press and hold both buttons. As it boots, it reverts to 4 zeros, release both buttons. Once you've got the 4 zeros and nothing else, you are in calibration mode. So in that position, literally the 0 and the on-off, you press and release, but it's very, very important that you press them simultaneously. If you don't, all you'll do is switch your laser on, or you'll turn the device off, you'll mess it up, you'll have to do it again. So if you press and release both buttons simultaneously, the zeros flash about 2 or 3 times, and then you get a 1 to say that it's calibrated in this orientation. So here we go, press and release. And it, incidentally, can you see it's gone to 1? It has switched the laser on. Ignore that, but whatever you do, don't look into the laser. So turn it 90 degrees, press and release the 0 and the on-off button again simultaneously, and release. Here we go. Flashing, gone to 2. Anti-clockwise, it's turned both lasers on now. Remember, don't look into them. So on, off and 0. Flashing, gone into 3. Both of them again. Flashing, and this time it won't go to 4, it just says 90 degrees. And again, you can see that laser's on. So I'm just going to turn the laser off by a quick press and release. Let's turn that one on, quick press and release, turn them both on, quick press and release, and they're both off. Right, now, the one thing that's different about this device compared to some is that it's absolutely important when you calibrate it, you have an absolutely level surface, because it zeroes itself on the surface and it relies on it being level. Now, you can test whether or not you've calibrated it accurately, because that device now is saying 0. If I turn it round, it should still read 0. If it doesn't, you've not calibrated it properly, because the surface that you used to calibrate it on wasn't flat. Now, you don't need a flat surface to check that your calibration was accurate. If I put this down on a surface, and for example, it says 2.15 degrees, and it's up at that end, if I turn it round, it should read the same, 2.15 degrees, but it should be up at the opposite side. So if by looking at it in this position, turning it the other position, it reads the same reading, but up at different ends, then you calibrated it accurately. Alternatively, find an absolutely level surface, put it down, and if it reads 0.00 and then turn it round and it reads 0.00 the other way, then you have calibrated it properly, because you were lucky enough to have a surface that was absolutely flat. But that, unfortunately, is the difference between this and some of them. Some of them don't require a flat surface. What you do is you just calibrate it in this orientation and turn it around through 180 degrees and calibrate it in the other orientation, and that automatically calibrates it for a flat surface. Whereas this one doesn't, because the calibration is done in those 4 positions, like so. As I say, if you're watching this, presumably you've got the same or had the same frustrations as me, and so I truly hope that watching the video, it's explained how to do it for you on your device. If it doesn't work, then hang on in there, because there will be a way of doing it, as I found out myself on this particular device.